What happened in Philadelphia shocked the entire athletics world. Marileidy Paulino didn't just win this women's 400 meters race. She completely controlled one of the strongest sprint fields of the season. In this video, we break down every phase of the race, from Salwa Eid Nasser's aggressive opening strategy to the moment Paulino took over on the final curve. You'll see why Paulino's running mechanics looked almost effortless, how she conserved energy while others were already fighting fatigue, and why her final 100 meters may be the most dangerous weapon in women's sprinting right now. This wasn't just a fast race. It was a technical masterclass that revealed exactly why Paulino is becoming nearly impossible to beat on the global stage.
We already saw her sister run. She's 3 times a British champ at this distance, twice outdoor and once indoor.
This is Isabella Whitaker. Went to school here at UPenn. Had a phenomenal indoor season. Broke the NCAA record. She ran 49.24 indoors. If that's indicative of what she's going to do, she's ready to do something special here outdoor.
She came back and she said, they already gave my locker away. She's like, I left and my parents changed my room.
That's how it goes.
Like, wait, how does that happen? Charlene Maudsley from Ireland, 50.71 she ran in the Olympic Games in Paris.
This is Jessica Gabai from Philly, competes for the Ivory Coast. 2024 African champion at 200 meters and has their record in the 300 and 400 as well.
Set.
Paulino with Nail Nasser. Just Paulino following Alexis Holmes, who starts quickly if she often does down the back straight or into the back straight. Alexis Holmes with a good lead at the moment, you would say that, very early in this 400 meters. And Paulino just feeling that Eid Nasser has moved up, so is Nikisha Price. Then a bit of a gap to the other athletes. Nielsen right in the middle in lane 4. This is going to be close, this one. Look at Eid Nasser, she's taking it to her. It's going to lead through 300 meters. As they come up this long, long bend, Eid Nasser's half a meter. Paulino starting to pull her back. Nikisha Price still going well. Paulino almost looks as though she changes gear. And Paulino finds an extra gear, and off she goes. Paulino takes the win. 49.12. That was awesome. That was a guy, excuse me, an athlete who is Eid Nasser's in the wrong lane.
Oh, wow. She is definitely in the wrong lane.
Mm-hmm.
Now, is that a DQ?
Well,
because she's not inhibiting.
Not at this point. It's if she, where did she move into lane 4?
It looked like just in the straightaway. If she did it in the straightaway, I think she's okay because she's not inhibiting.
If she does it in the straightaway
anybody.
and she doesn't inhibit the other athlete, she should be okay.
Right. Now, if there was an advantage gained on the turn in any way.
Have you ever seen one of those big train junctions where all the lines cross and you're never quite sure how they...
Yeah.
Well, I think the signals hadn't been set properly here. Because she...
Well, Paulino was in her lane.
Yeah, we're just double checking. We haven't seen a DQ yet, and I don't expect we will see one. I don't know if that ever happened to MJ. Switch lanes in the home straight. Good spot, Carrie.
Very good spot.
12 points for...
The women's 400 meters at the Philadelphia Slam delivered one of the strongest early season statements in global athletics. This was not just another fast race. It was a direct confrontation between completely different racing philosophies, different pacing models, and some of the most dangerous quarter-milers in the world. At the center of it all stood Marileidy Paulino, who once again proved why she is currently the most complete 400-meter runner on the planet. Paulino crossed the line in 49.12, but the most impressive part of her performance was not simply the time itself. It was the way she controlled the race from start to finish. Unlike many elite 400-meter runners who rely on explosive aggression in the opening half, Paulino approached the race with patience and rhythm. She never looked rushed. She never appeared tense. Every movement looked calculated. The opening 100 meters immediately revealed the contrast between the athletes. Salwa Eid Nasser attacked the race aggressively, as she almost always does. Her strategy is built around forcing the pace early and placing maximum pressure on the field before the final straight. She accelerates hard through the backstretch and attempts to create separation before fatigue becomes a factor. Against most athletes, this approach is devastating because few runners can survive that pace distribution. But Paulino races differently. She refuses to panic during the early stages. Instead of reacting emotionally to Nasser's fast opening tempo, she remained composed and focused entirely on her own rhythm. That psychological discipline is one of her greatest weapons. Many athletes lose races against Nasser long before the finish because they try to match her intensity too early. Paulino understands that the decisive phase of the 400 meters comes later. Technically, Paulino's running mechanics were exceptional throughout the race. Her shoulders stayed relaxed, her stride remained efficient, and her upper body movement was incredibly controlled. Even at high speed, she wastes almost no energy. That efficiency becomes critical in the final 120 meters, where the 400 meters transforms from a speed event into a battle against fatigue and lactate buildup. The turning point of the race came exiting the second curve. This is where Paulino began applying pressure. What makes her so dangerous is that her acceleration does not look dramatic. She does not produce wild arm action or visible strain. Instead, she gradually increases her rhythm while maintaining perfect mechanics. Within seconds, the gap started opening. At the same moment, the signs of fatigue began appearing in her rivals. Nasser's stride became less fluid, and there was more vertical movement in her running mechanics, a classic indication that the body is starting to fight exhaustion. Nikisha Price, who was running extremely well through much of the race, also began losing smoothness over the final section. Meanwhile, Paulino looked almost untouched by the pressure of the distance. That final straight demonstrated the biggest difference between her and the rest of the field. Most 400-meter runners spend the last 100 meters trying to survive. Paulino continues accelerating while others are slowing down. That is an incredibly rare ability, even at the world-class level. Her stride length remains consistent, her cadence stays controlled, and her posture barely collapses under fatigue. This is exactly why her victories often appear more dominant visually than they do on paper. Salwa Eid Nasser's 49.47 was still a major performance. For this stage of the season, it is an elite-level result and a strong indication that she is in excellent condition. However, the race exposed the limitation of her current pacing strategy against someone as technically efficient as Paulino. Nasser relies heavily on early aggression. She tries to force opponents into discomfort before the final straight. But Paulino refuses to be dragged into that type of race. Instead, she allows Nasser to spend energy early while preserving her own efficiency for the decisive phase. Over the final 120 meters, that difference becomes massive. Nikisha Price also deserves significant credit for her 50.04 performance. She stayed competitive deep into the race and handled the opening phases extremely well. For much of the distance, she looked capable of challenging the top two. But unlike Paulino, Price struggled to maintain speed preservation over the final stretch.